Have you ever felt like your mood changes drastically depending on what happens around you? One moment you're on top of the world, and the next you feel like a complete failure. Why does this happen? The answer lies in your self-esteem. In this video, we'll explore what stable and unstable self-esteem are, why they matter, and how you can build a stronger, more stable sense of self-worth. Let's dive in. Meet Michael. He's a successful manager with a nice car, a good apartment, and a life he's proud of. But then he runs into his old classmate, Steve. Steve owns a company, travels on a private jet, and lives in a villa in Nice. Suddenly, Michael's car doesn't seem so great anymore. His life feels less successful, but here's the thing. Nothing in Michael's life has actually changed. His self-esteem dropped because he compared himself to Steve. This is unstable self-esteem. When your opinion of yourself depends on external events or other people's success, it's like riding an emotional roller coaster, and it can leave you feeling exhausted and insecure. Unstable self-esteem can take different forms. Let's meet 3 people who represent the most common types. 1. I'm okay if I'm the best. Meet John. His self-esteem depends on being better than others. He constantly compares himself to those around him, whether it's at work, in sports, or even in social situations. For John, success isn't just about achieving something, it's about being the best. When he wins or gets praised, he feels on top of the world. But when someone else outperforms him, he feels like a failure. For example, John recently worked hard on a project at work. He was sure his idea would be the best. But when his colleague presented a different approach and got all the praise, John felt crushed. He started questioning his abilities, thinking, if I'm not the best, what's the point? This is the I'm okay if I'm the best type of self-esteem. It's all about competition and comparison. 2. I'm okay if I please others. Now meet Sarah. Her self-esteem depends on making others happy. She's always the first to offer help, whether it's at work or in her personal life. Sarah feels valued when people appreciate her efforts, but when her kindness goes unnoticed, she feels invisible and unappreciated. For example, Sarah is always the one who volunteers to help her colleagues with their tasks, even when she's already overwhelmed with her own work. She can't say no when her boss asks her to take on extra projects, even though she's exhausted. At home, she does all the chores, helps her siblings, and even runs errands for her neighbors, all because she's afraid to disappoint anyone. But one day, Sarah realizes that no one notices how much she does. Her colleagues take her help for granted, her boss keeps piling on more work, and her family doesn't even say thank you. She feels drained and starts thinking, if I stop helping, will anyone even care about me? This is the I'm okay if I please others type of self-esteem. It's all about seeking validation from others by being useful or convenient. 3. I'm okay if I'm strong. Finally, meet Alex. He needs to feel in control. When things go according to plan, he's confident. But when something goes wrong, he feels weak and insecure. Alex's self-esteem depends on his ability to control situations. He avoids showing vulnerability and tries to handle everything on his own. When he's in control, he feels powerful. But when things spiral out of hand, he feels anxious. For example, Alex is a project manager who prides himself on never missing a deadline. But when a key team member quits unexpectedly, the project falls behind. Instead of asking for help, Alex works overtime trying to fix everything himself. When he can't, he feels like a failure and starts doubting his competence. This is the I'm okay if I'm strong type of self-esteem. It's all about control and avoiding vulnerability. Do you recognize yourself in any of these examples? Do you feel okay only if you're the best, if you please others, or if you're strong? Understanding your type of self-esteem is the first step toward building a healthier, more stable sense of self-worth. Self-esteem starts forming in childhood. Imagine a child who copies his parents' behavior. If his parents praise him, he feels good about himself. If they criticize him, he feels bad. There are 3 main mechanisms that shape self-esteem. Copying. Children imitate their parents' attitudes and behaviors. Conditional reinforcement. Parents reward or punish children based on their actions. Interpretations. Children interpret events in their own way, often feeling unfairly treated. Let's see how these mechanisms shape the three types of self-esteem. 1. I'm okay if I'm the best. Meet John. As a child, his father always pushed him to be the best. Whether it was sports, school, or even games, John was told that winning was everything. His father would say, "If you're not first, you're last." John learned that his worth depended on being better than others. When he won, his father praised him, and he felt great. But when he lost, he felt like a failure. This is how I'm okay if I'm the best. Self-esteem forms. The child learns that they're only valuable if they outperform others. As an adult, John constantly compares himself to his colleagues and feels crushed when someone else gets promoted. 2. I'm okay if I please others. Now meet Sarah. As a child, she was praised only when she helped her mom or made others happy. Her mom would say, "You're such a good girl when you help me." But if Sarah wanted to play instead, her mom would get upset. Sarah learned that her worth depended on making others happy. She started believing that she was only valuable if she pleased people. This is how I'm okay if I please others self-esteem forms. As an adult, Sarah struggles to say no and often feels unappreciated when her efforts go unnoticed. 3. I'm okay if I'm strong. Finally, meet Alex. As a child, he was taught that showing emotions was a sign of weakness. When he fell off his bike and cried, his father said, "Boys don't cry. You have to be strong." Alex learned that his worth depended on being tough and in control. He started hiding his feelings and avoiding situations where he might appear vulnerable. This is how I'm okay if I'm strong self-esteem forms. As an adult, Alex struggles to ask for help and feels anxious when things don't go according to plan. These childhood experiences shape how we see ourselves as adults. But the good news is, self-esteem isn't fixed. By understanding where it comes from, we can start building a healthier, more stable sense of self-worth. Unlike unstable self-esteem, stable self-esteem doesn't depend on external events or other people's opinions. Someone with stable self-esteem understands. If something doesn't go well today, it doesn't mean they're a failure. If someone criticizes them, it doesn't mean they're worthless. Stable self-esteem is about accepting yourself as you are, with all your strengths and weaknesses. It's the foundation of inner peace and confidence. Now let's talk about how to build stable self-esteem. Here are the 7 steps. Awareness. Recognize that your self-esteem is unstable and influenced by external factors. For example, Michael realized his mood dropped when he compared himself to Steve. Diagnosis. Identify your type of self-esteem. Do you feel okay only if you're the best, if you please others, or if you're strong? Understanding your patterns is the first step to change. Planning. Create a plan to work on your self-esteem. Ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped depending on these factors? Quick results. Use techniques to boost your self-esteem in the short term. For example, Michael tried the "what if this happened to a friend" method. He imagined his friend feeling down after meeting Steve and realized how unfair he was being to himself. Systemic changes make long-term changes. For Sarah, this meant learning to say no and prioritize her own needs. For Alex, it meant accepting that he can't control everything. Monitoring. Keep track of your progress. Write down your emotions and reactions to events. This helps you see patterns and celebrate small wins. New level. Once you've built stable self-esteem, you'll notice that failures, criticism, and others' success don't affect you as much. You'll feel more confident and at peace with yourself. Stable self-esteem isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you can develop. By following these 7 steps, you can stop depending on others' opinions and start valuing yourself no matter what happens. This video was based on the book 7 Steps to Stable Self-Esteem by Boris Litvak. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.